You're doing everything right. Thoughtful texts, great conversation. You're available, attentive, consistent. So why is she pulling away? Here's what nobody tells you. The moment you start chasing is the exact moment attraction dies. And I'm about to show you why. Look, I get it. You meet someone who genuinely interests you and every instinct says, show her you care. More messages, more effort, more proof that you're worth choosing. But here's the reality check. That strategy backfires every single time. In the next few minutes, I'm breaking down the psychology behind why women are drawn to men who need them less. And no, this isn't about playing games or being a jerk. This is about understanding masculine energy through a Stoic lens, where your power comes from self-mastery, not from seeking approval. If you want strategies that actually work in the real world, hit that subscribe button right now. We drop new content on attraction and personal development every single day. All right, let's dive in. The truth about chasing. Here's something most guys learn the hard way. The harder you pursue, the faster she disappears. And it's not because women are complicated or playing hard to get. It's basic human psychology. Think about it like this. When something's always available, always within reach, your brain stops valuing it. That coffee shop on your corner? You've been meaning to try it for months, but you never do, because hey, it's always there. Now imagine that same place is closing in 3 days. Suddenly you're making plans. That's scarcity principle in action. And whether we like it or not, it applies to attraction too. Real example. I was talking to a guy named Marcus last month, 48-year-old architect from Chicago. Met a woman at a networking event. Successful, sharp, attractive. He was all in. Morning texts, afternoon check-ins, goodnight messages. Rearranged his entire schedule around hers. 3 weeks later, she ghosted. Just stopped responding. Marcus was confused. I did everything right, he told me. That's when I had to break it down for him. Brother, you did everything wrong. Not because you cared, but because you made yourself too available. You removed all mystery, all challenge, all tension. See, attraction isn't logical, it's emotional, and emotions need space to build. Ancient wisdom, modern application, the Stoics figured this out 2,000 years ago. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Translation: stop trying to control her feelings, start controlling your own reactions. When you're constantly checking your phone, overthinking every message, wondering what she's doing when she doesn't respond, you're giving away your power. You're letting external circumstances dictate your internal state. That's the opposite of masculine energy. What grounded actually looks like. Grounded doesn't mean cold. It doesn't mean unavailable. It means your emotional state doesn't swing based on someone else's text timing. You send a message when you genuinely have something to say, not because you're anxious about maintaining contact. You make plans, then move on with your day regardless of the response. If she cancels, you say no problem, and actually mean it because your evening was already handled. That's the difference between reacting and responding. Reacting is emotional. Responding is intentional. And if this is making sense so far, do me a favor and drop a comment saying, "I'm listening." The algorithm loves engagement, and it helps me know this content is landing. Why oversharing kills attraction. Most guys think connection means sharing everything. Your whole life story, your fears, your daily schedule, your opinions on everything. But here's what actually happens. You become predictable, and predictable is boring. Mystery isn't about being secretive or fake. It's about pacing. It's about not handing everything over in the first 3 conversations. Think about your favorite TV show. Would you binge it if they released the entire series at once with no buildup, no cliffhangers, no suspense? Maybe, but would you think about it constantly between episodes? Probably not. The 70-30 rule. Here's a practical framework. Reveal 70%, hold back 30%. Share enough to be genuine and create connection, but maintain enough privacy that she has to wonder. She should sense there's depth to you that hasn't been fully explored yet. When she asks about your weekend, don't give her a play-by-play. Give her the highlight. Solid weekend, caught up with some old friends, hit the gym, knocked out some projects. How about yours? Notice what that does? It's warm, it's real, but it leaves space. She doesn't know which friends, what projects, what you talked about. And that slight mystery keeps her curious. Your vibe tells the truth. You can say all the right words, but if your energy screams, "Please validate me," she'll feel it instantly. Women are incredibly attuned to energy. They read it before they process your actual words. Desperate energy has a frequency. It's in how fast you respond. It's in how much you explain. It's in your tone when plans change. She doesn't even need to see you to feel it. Daily practice, the pause. Here's something you can implement today. Before you send that text, before you react to that situation, pause. Take one deep breath, 4 seconds in, hold for 2, 6 seconds out. That single moment of intentional control rewires your nervous system. It shifts you from reactive mode to deliberate mode. And that shift changes everything about how you show up. I'm not talking about waiting 3 hours to respond to play games. I'm talking about responding from a centered place instead of an anxious one. There's a massive difference in how that lands. Your focus is your most valuable asset. In a world where everyone's attention is scattered across 12 apps and 1,000 distractions, focused attention is rare. It's valuable, and you're probably giving yours away too freely. Every like, every comment, every just checking in message diminishes the value of your attention. When you give it to everyone equally, it stops meaning something special. Selective, not scarce. Here's the distinction. Being selective about your attention is powerful. Being stingy is just petty. You're not ignoring her to prove a point. You're choosing when to engage based on whether it aligns with your life, your values, your schedule. When you do give attention, it's full presence, not half listening while scrolling. Not texting back while doing 3 other things. Quality over quantity. Every time. If you're getting value from this, make sure you're subscribed. We're building a community of men who are done chasing and ready to lead. Hit that button. The space between. Most men are terrified of distance. They think if they're not constantly present, she'll forget about them. But that's not how desire works. Desire needs space to grow. When you're always there, you become part of the background. When you step back, you create contrast, and contrast makes people notice. This isn't about disappearing or playing games. It's about having a life that continues with or without her in it. When you pull back to focus on your work, your health, your purpose, that's not strategy. That's just being a complete person. What healthy distance looks like, you have a great date. Instead of texting her that night saying, "Had an amazing time," you wait until the next day. Not because you're calculating, but because you actually went home and lived your life. Hit the gym the next morning, took care of business, then reached out when it felt natural. That's the rhythm. Engage, then return to yourself. Connect, then reconnect with your purpose. The push and pull creates tension, and tension is what keeps things alive. The ultimate power move. You know what the strongest thing a man can do is? Walk away without bitterness when something isn't working. No drama, no guilt trips, no long explanations. Just, "I respect that. Take care of yourself." Most guys can't do this. They hang on, they negotiate, they try to convince. But a man who knows his worth doesn't convince anyone of his value. He simply lives it. Real scenario. I know a guy, Robert, 52, from Denver. Was seeing someone for about 6 months. Things got inconsistent. She'd go days without responding, then pop back up like nothing happened. He finally asked her directly, "Are we building something here or not?" She gave him the classic, "I don't know what I want right now." Robert didn't argue, didn't try to change her mind. He said, "I appreciate your honesty. I know what I want, and I need someone who's sure. I wish you well." Then he left, peacefully, no resentment. 2 weeks later, she reached out. But here's the thing, Robert wasn't waiting. He'd already moved on emotionally. That's real power. Not controlling outcomes, but controlling how you respond to them. The completion trap. Here's the lie we've all been sold. Find someone who completes you. Sounds romantic, right? It's actually terrible advice, because when you need someone to complete you, you're automatically coming from a place of lack. And lack is repulsive. It's energy that pushes people away, even when the words sound right. Women don't want to be your missing piece. They want to join a life that's already full, They want to feel like they're adding to something solid, not filling a void. Building from fullness. This means getting your life handled before you try to add someone to it. Your health, your finances, your friendships, your purpose. When these areas are strong, you naturally need less from any one person. You can enjoy her company without requiring her validation. You can care about her without your happiness depending on her response. That's the energy that actually attracts quality women. And if you want to go deeper on building this kind of life, the kind that attracts instead of chases, subscribe to this channel. We're just getting started. The quiet strength. Real confidence doesn't announce itself. It doesn't need to. Calm is the new confidence because calm says, I'm good regardless of what happens here. Most guys try to project confidence through talking more, doing more, proving more. But actual confidence is quiet. It's the ability to sit in silence without anxiety, to have plans change without panic, to receive a no without spiraling. Practical application. Next time you're on a date and there's a lull in conversation, don't rush to fill it. Just be comfortable. Smile. Take a sip of your drink. Let the moment exist without forcing it. That comfort with silence communicates more confidence than any story you could tell, because it shows you're not performing. You're just being. Women feel that immediately. It's the difference between someone trying to impress them and someone who's already impressed with himself. Putting it all together. So here's what we've covered. Stop chasing, start attracting. Control yourself, not her. Create mystery through pacing. Manage your energy intentionally. Make your attention valuable. Use distance strategically. Walk away with dignity. Need less to attract more. Let calm be your confidence. This isn't manipulation. This is self-mastery. It's stoicism applied to modern dating. And it works not because it tricks anyone, but because it makes you genuinely more attractive. When you embody these principles, you're not playing games. You're playing at a higher level. You're operating from strength instead of scarcity. From choice instead of desperation. Join the movement. If this resonated with you, if you're tired of chasing and ready to become the kind of man women naturally pursue, here's what to do next. First, subscribe to this channel. We're building a community of men who lead with strength, discipline, and purpose. New videos every day on attraction, personal growth, and masculine development. Second, drop a comment telling me which principle hit hardest for you. Was it mystery? Energy management? Walking away? Let me know. Third, check out the Stoic Brotherhood in the description below. It's a private community where we go even deeper on these principles. Real tools, daily challenges, men holding each other accountable. Because here's the thing, knowledge without application is just entertainment. If you're serious about changing how you show up in dating and in life, you need a system and a community. The link is right below this video. Remember, attraction begins the moment you stop chasing yourself. Stay grounded, stay focused, and I'll see you in the next one.